Alright, this is about to be a pretty controversial video, but hear me out. I recently played the latest Assassin's Creed games, specifically the RPG ones as well as Mirage. And guess what? I actually liked them. They are pretty good games, but not exactly Assassin's Creed games. You see, a game can be good, but not be good from a specific context. If the recent Assassin's Creed games came under a different name, the games would actually be good. The only problem I have with these games is that they are falsely advertised as Assassin's Creed games, which I don't like. In this video, I'm gonna discuss what exactly went wrong with the series and at what point, it started going out of the track. Now, funnily enough, I wrote the script of this video like a week ago, and what I saw today and yesterday as well, that there's 2 or 3 people who already posted on this topic. Now, I was like, should I make a video on this or not? But I thought maybe I should make my own. My script is kind of different than theirs, and I've not tried to copy anything out of theirs, something like that, but this is from my perspective and what I think exactly happened with the series. But before that, I would definitely appreciate a like on this video, and feel free to subscribe to this channel because it takes time to produce content. Alright, so the first breaking point of this started around Assassin's Creed Unity, and you might be thinking that Unity was actually a good game, and I agree it is, but there was something that was changed, and that is the Helix credit system. And if you know it, you know what that means. It started the era of microtransactions. Ubisoft did not waste any time to seize the opportunity to look at that juicy Helix credit money. And funnily enough, this game started with a rather horrific launch. Now, I don't think so it was related in any ways. The game had a bad launch because they overestimated the power of newly launched PS4 and Xbox One at that time. There were actually some good upgrades in terms of the facial animations, graphics, dialogue delivering, and the game's narrative felt like a movie. The facial animations was significantly improved from the game that was before Assassin's Creed Unity, if you compare it. Though I actually did not like the game's story that much. I didn't like the villains in this game, quite frankly. I don't know if anyone paid that much attention to this. There was also no confession cutscenes in this game, which I think makes the game more mysterious and deep. The perspective we get from killing them also makes us rethink our own beliefs. But it's good that these confession cutscenes were returned again in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Speaking of Syndicate, it also was not able to see that much success due to Unity's already existing bad image because of its launch. Now, Syndicate was very much like Unity. I would say that it did have a better story than Unity, and the whole story structure was better than that. Also, in this game, they kind of introduced the RPG elements that I feel like in this game they were not so over the top that it made the game look bad or something. I feel like the RPG elements in this game were kind of, I would say, good. They were balanced. They did not take away everything, from the game because of it. Also, this game was not bugged, which helped it a lot. But still, I don't think this game elevated the reputation of the Assassin's Creed series. It still was not a game that could, change the perception that was already created by Assassin's Creed Unity. Then came the legend Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, there was a 2-year difference between Assassin's Creed Syndicate and Origins because this is what they were working on. This changed how we saw Assassin's Creed games in general. This was the biggest transformation. At this point in time, RPG games in general started to see a big boost in terms of their popularity, and this impacted the Assassin's Creed series as well. Starting from Assassin's Creed Origins, the game started shifting towards the massive open world RPG game from the traditional small and denser cities. Now, I'm not gonna argue the credibility of Assassin's Creed Origins. It is a well-written game with a good story. The narration in this game is also pretty good in my opinion. I would even say that this game is a 9 out of 10. But the problem it caused was that it did not fit the nature of an Assassin's Creed game. Whenever you think of an Assassin's Creed game, what do you expect? Social stealth, massive crowd, tighter places, good enough rooftops to parkour, hiding spots, and stuff like that. Does it make sense to put an assassin in an empty piece of land? It would be useless, right? Because, you're not hidden, right? Being an assassin to me is going through complications inside a dense city to assassinate its target, or maybe tailing, eavesdropping, and stuff like that. And the nature of massive open world RPG games does not suit the assassin theme that much in my opinion. You are free to have your own opinion. though. Now, with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, this went even more downhill. Again, this game is pretty good, but at this point the series has become something else, and having an Assassin's Creed name attached in front of it is nothing more than misrepresentation of the word. Here comes the biggest game changer that destroyed the series for me, and that is creating automated AI generated dialogues with choices. It breaks any sort of immersion whatsoever. One thing I liked in Origins and games before that was that the cutscenes felt like legit movies. Just sit back and enjoy the whole story and immerse yourself in the twists and turns that happen. Also, with the automated AI generated dialogues also comes bad facial animations that just makes it even worse. These RPG games are very big, and creating mocap dialogues for this big games is just very hard. You can't do that. You're gonna take a lot of time to do that first, and Assassin's Creed games in general release quite frequently compared to other AAA games, so it's very hard to do all these things in a limited amount of time. Now what this makes is that the characters turn into robots. You just don't feel the same attachment towards them even if the screenplay is for a longer amount of time. The story in this game is good, but if they improve this aspect, the game is gonna drastically improve. The game also actually didn't have any assassin element in it. You are a warrior rather than an assassin. Stealth is also not that important because a lot of times it is not one hit kill because of the level difference, and also because of the combat you actually don't have to rely on stealth that much. There's also nothing like tailing, eavesdropping, or any infiltration type of mission. Now because of the time period, it was even before the birth of the Creed, so we actually don't see an Assassin-Templar conflict. Starting from this, the series just full on became a full-fledged RPG game other than anything else. Now with the introduction of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it got even worse. At this point, it literally started catering the RPG fans more than any other ones, and actually it made them a lot of money because of it, and I'm gonna talk about why that happened in just a second. Generally, I don't like stories of RPG games unless it's like Witcher or something like that, because RPG games in general focus on the leveling stuff like that. It's just about the grind and not necessarily about the story or something like that. More people are playing just for the sake of gameplay, doing boss fights and stuff like that. That is what most RPG fans like. That is like the priority for them. The story is kind of secondary in my opinion. The story in Valhalla was not bad, but it was not anything good as well. Plus they tried bringing assassins in it, and that should be a good thing, right? But the part they had of the assassins was almost next to negligible. In the beginning Basim comes and it kinda looks that, oh, we are gonna see a transformation in Evo's character and she or he is gonna turn into an assassin, after some training or something like that, after a certain point of the story. But we were thinking too much, it was not gonna happen. It was more about conquering territories of England and forming alliance. Also, forgot to mention how the parkour and stealth got completely destroyed till this point. You see Valhalla's parkour and even Odyssey's parkour, I don't know why it is so sluggish. It feels kind of weird playing, using parkour in these games. It just looks pretty weird in my opinion. We also forgot that the microtransactions as well at this point went absolutely nuts. Like, what has this become at this point? I seriously want to enjoy a game without bothering about these things. Microtransactions are literally on my face when I open up the game. Like, there's a specific button to open up store. What is this? Are you serious? They tried to improve all these things with Assassin's Creed Mirage, but it was not actually improving it, but made a little buffer game until the next Assassin's Creed game comes out. And you know what the next Assassin's Creed game is, right? It's also an RPG game. That was, predicted, but let's hope what it's gonna turn out to be like. Assassin's Creed Mirage is just made out of Valhalla, to be honest. It still had bad facial animations and dialogues. The story was serviceable, but not anything that's very impactful, to be honest. The last good story in an Assassin's Creed game was in Assassin's Creed Origins, probably. I hope better versions of Assassin's Creed Mirage come out. I appreciate that Ubisoft at least did something, but at this point we are down so bad, so even little improvements cause us to appreciate a game a lot. Now, moving forward, I think they need to create a separate IP for RPG games, or at least have assassin elements in these games, because that is what completes Assassin's Creed. We don't want warriors, we want assassins. Sure, they could have some customizable gears and tools, not gonna argue that. I feel like it's a good thing that they kind of, change how the gears and stuff like that work. I have nothing against it. I actually like, having different gears and stuff like that. It looks cool in my opinion. I don't even have any problems with the XP progression system, to be honest, but the problem arises when you are forced to do filler content to proceed in the game. All the side content in this game are like so bad in the RPG games, man. They just feel really weird, like just filler content, they have nothing of substance in them, just completely bland missions with nothing that is enjoyable in my opinion. You're just doing for the sake of getting XP and leveling up your gear, that's it. In my opinion, you can create good side content as well if you focus on these things. I know it's gonna be hard and there's gonna be a limited amount of these, but it's just, in my opinion, more quality than quantity, and I just like that personally. But anyways guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. Now the main motive of making this video was that I was kind of just frustrated about how everything is turning in the series, and I have like nothing to say bad about these recent games, to be honest, but this was not the Assassin's Creed that I liked before, and these games have been significantly changed in these recent years. I just feel like these games are good in its own way, but I just don't think about Assassin's Creed when I play these games. I just think of an RPG game. Assassin's Creed game is more different to me than these games. Now what an Assassin's Creed game to me is that you get to assassinate target, you get to infiltrate places with multiple options to do that. You have tailing missions, you have eavesdropping missions, there's interrogation, stuff like that. There's proper narrative driven story, which is just not there in the recent ones. I also need better facial animations in the game and good characters that have their own distinct personalities, and all these things I just cannot see in the recent games, and that's what makes a quality game for me, and that's what an Assassin's Creed game should be. Anyways guys, if you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to type it down below, and I'll be really happy to interact with you guys in the comment section. Also, if you have any topics that I can cover, feel free to write it down, man. It helps me a lot, I run out of ideas a lot. Right now I have typed a lot of ideas and what I'm gonna make, but if you guys give me as well, I'm gonna have a lot of topics to make videos on, so it's gonna be pretty easy task for me, and I'm not gonna procrastinate. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.